My name is hautemesstom. Hey hoodies, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I never wear pink. I don't wear pink. I've never worn it. And I don't like it. Anyway, in today's video we're gonna do a monochromatic face of pink makeup. So I have this merch. Let's get into the plugs. I have merch, but this is one of the pieces of merch. I have said in many videos, if you happen to be new here, I've said in a lot of my old videos that I don't like the color pink. I don't like pink cosmetics. I made it merch, but it has like kind of caught on as like an ongoing thing that I don't like to wear the color pink. But like, it's not really entirely true, but like I did fall out of love with pink cosmetics. So that's what we're doing today, full face of pink. You're all gonna be like, wow, Tom looks so great in pink. And I look forward to those compliments, by the way. But if you happen to be new to my channel, hi, hello. My channel is all about loving my makeup collection as it currently is, while being critical of new makeup releases and trends, and just try to be very discerning when I do decide to like invite something into my makeup collection. I do also do makeup reviews if you're into that sort of thing, but I like to take my time with my reviews and like really get to know a product before I start telling you really whether or not I think it's like worth the money. So if that kind of content sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video, and I'm also on patreon.com if you would like to support me there. There's no pressure to. I'm just happy that you're here, engaging with the content, liking, commenting. Those things are just as valid as being a patron, but Patreon is there in case you want to go. But I would like to thank my current patrons. You are all the absolute best, and I appreciate you so much. Also, merch. If you want to buy the I Don't Wear Pink sweatshirt, you can do that. That's up to you. But there's no pressure on that either. It's a nightmare. I can't believe you're making me do this. How dare you make me do such a video where I put on pink cosmetics. Doja Cat, hot pink. She's here. I love a theme. The format of the video is really going to be kind of like a let's play with makeup. So, but just pink. Pink is the color pink. Let me get some lip balm on. Where's my lip balm? Excuse me. You're a hell of a guy. I don't know if we're gonna go more warm or more cool tone pink. I think it's gonna be whatever happens, happens. We're gonna just put all the pink on my face. I feel as though to get the full effect, like to be like 100% sure that we know that the purpose is to put as much pink on my face as we can, I think blush draping is going to be the way to go. So I'm going to just start with my complexion and go from there. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. I know you won't be able to see the merch. It's bad. My manager is going to be so pissed at me. I don't have a manager. I'm not interested in one either, so don't stop your typing. I know that everyone's dying to be my manager. It's like, what nightmare that would be for whoever that was. I think I'm just gonna use the Givenchy concealer all over my face, and I'm gonna use the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base Primer. This weekend, can I just tell you that this weekend was so incredibly fruitful and wonderful and amazing and stunning. There is another Pittsburgh beauty content creator. I gave her a shout out on my community tab, and her name is Rachel. Did I already say she's from Pittsburgh? She's from Pittsburgh, but she makes beauty content. Her content is maybe more informative than mine because she like will come up with solutions for things. I do in my own time, but I have found it like not always the most fruitful for me to like share that information. Not that I'm trying to gatekeep. Like if you ask, you shall receive. Interestingly enough, informative content in the beauty space seems to be unwanted. And I don't know what that's about because I watch a lot of content that's informative. Anyway, like what is here? What is happening? What is this? Me and Rachel, after many failed months of trying to get together, finally got together this weekend. And I think even though the Pittsburgh Marathon was happening and it was like a hellscape to get around the city this weekend, we picked the perfect day. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Pittsburgh is one of the grayest and rainiest cities, and I know that everyone really thinks of Seattle first, but just like the Titans, don't forget about Pittsburgh. It's a nightmare here. Not that the Titans were a nightmare. I actually don't know anything about that football television movie. Was it just a real life event? Well, I'll never know. Don't tell me in the comments. I'll blacklist you. Me learning? Never. See? This is why informative content doesn't do good on YouTube. Anyway, it was a beautiful day. It was like warm, but not hot. And we sat at a coffee shop, and we literally were at the coffee shop for like 5 hours, and we didn't even really realize it. I only really looked at my phone to check the time because I was hungry, and I was like, do you want to get food? And so we hung out for like 7 or 8 hours. We hung out like all day on Saturday. It was beautiful, and just in case you, not that I feel like I need to tell you this, but Rachel is just as lovely in person as she is online. I promise you that. And it was just so nice to like sit down with another content creator and like someone who's close to my size too, because it's like I feel like I can at least be a little bit helpful to Rachel and we can just like complain about it to each other. Like the thing about YouTube as work, which even though it's not my full-time, like it's not my job at this time, even though it's not that right now, it is still work. And you want to complain about it, but me complaining about it here to you is a little bit of a fruitless task. And while I think many of you will understand, I think there are also people who could come across my content and think that I'm trying to be like ungrateful. And it's not that. It's just like, you know, sometimes you just like need to blow off steam. And so like me and Rachel got to do that, and I got to share some advice. Not that she like needed my advice, but like we were talking about both of us being like working full time, and then also like liking content and like how we balance that. We talked a lot about that. But then like after a while, we got into our personal lives a bit, and we had a lot of fun. Also, Rachel, I want to say here on my channel, I am sorry for the amount of spit that came out of my mouth in your general direction while we were hanging out, because it was an ungodly amount. And I don't normally spit. I think I was just really excited to meet you, and then the saliva built up. And then also I had coffee. So, you know, all of those things. We went to what I think is what if you're in Pittsburgh and you might disagree, we went to what I think is Pittsburgh's best coffee place, and it's Espresso Amano in Lawrenceville. We hung out in Lawrenceville all day, and then we went to lunch at Industry. Well, was it lunch? It was like sometime between like a lunchtime and dinner time, but like we truly had like the best time, and I like haven't stopped thinking about it. It was just so easy. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It was just like, and I don't know if it had something to do with the fact, like so there is something to say about like content, you know, like being like seeing someone through content, like are they really going to behave like that? And I would say that Rachel is what you see. I mean, obviously we're not all 100% what we see, but like sometimes that can work against you, right? So I don't know if Rachel felt the same about me, but I just felt like it was so easy, and making a new friend as an adult is just like hard enough. And then like we're becoming friends through the internet, and then we like met, oh my God. And it was so good. You know, I'm always like open to making new IRL friends. And I'm not saying that any of you that I have connected with, which there are like plenty of you that I have like personally connected with, I think we're going to be doing a lot of powders. I don't think that there's going to be any cream stuff on my cheeks. So do I do cream bronze? No, I'll do a powder bronzer. Even though it's like not really important, it's part of the process for me. The contour I just used was the Fenty Cheeks Out in Amber. If you've been here, you've already known that, but if you're new here, that there you go. It's just like, yeah, so nice as an adult to like make a friend. And I know other people who like actively make friends. I need to make friends in the way I made friends with Rachel, which was like happenstance online. And then we're like, wow, you're really cool, we should meet up. And then we do. But like I don't want to use apps like, you know, Hinge. Like I know those are dating apps, but like Bumble BFF, like I think that's like a lot of effort for what I'm trying to do. Like, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't have worked hard to become friends with Rachel, because, you know, we did have to meet each other in real life. But like, does this make sense? Like I have friends who are like actively trying to make friends as an adult, and like they're putting a lot of effort in, and for some of them it was paying off. I found that one of my very close friends who I did meet through Bumble BFF, it hasn't been like a fruitful practice for me. So this was just like very lovely. And I'm sure that some of you experienced this too, but like getting to be able to talk about beauty at such a level, and not like, I'm not even talking like technique wise and like how good we are at makeup, but just like because we're the kind of content creators who talk about beauty, whether or not we're buying like all of this new beauty, we like have our finger on the pulse, and it's like nice to like excitedly talk about it, because like how often do you sit across from someone and I like looked at her and I was like, do you have Rowan on your eyes? And she didn't. She had the new Phytosurgeons sparkly shades, and so we like talked about that, like, and like I couldn't do that with some of my closest friends. They'll hear me out and I'll explain it, but it's like, it's just not the same. And then so that was Saturday, and listen, I normally don't have this kind of spoonage to go around. It went so well, and we hung out all day. I did come home, and both of us have allergies, but like both me and Rachel have allergies. But like I came home and my eyes felt like they were gonna fall out of my face. Like that's how like puffy they felt. And so I just like, wow, I look snatched. Okay, the Givenchy concealer, she continues to be that girl. So then, but then I fell asleep at like 7 o'clock, because not that Rachel exhausted me, but like I normally don't, like I don't socialize that often. And like socializing with my close circle and my best friends. Not that I was like, I think everyone can understand this. Like, I wasn't like putting on an act for Rachel, but like you have to be more on when you're meeting new people because they don't know that, like, all of your intricacies. But like when I hang out with like Tiffany, like my closest friend, it's like there's not like that pressure. So like when we hang out, well, I still obviously very much love hanging out with Tiffany. It's like, it's not as like I have to be as on, because like if I'm not on and Tiffany and I are spending time together, this goes both ways, obviously. Like I think, you know, but it's like I had to be on. And then so then on yesterday, well, Sunday, because you're seeing this now on Wednesday, I went out with a different friend and we were trying to go to breakfast, but it turns out trying to go to breakfast at 11 a.m. is too late. We weren't trying to go to brunch. We weren't trying to go to like a trendy brunch place. We were just like trying to get breakfast, and like everywhere we were trying to go to get breakfast was like an hour-long wait. And then we even put ourselves on the wait list for this one place. Like they had like a wait list thing you could add yourself to, like join the line. We did, and they said there was only a 5-minute wait. And so like I joined the line, and then we got there and they were like, well, it's gonna be an hour. And then literally we were like, well, now it's almost lunchtime, we might as well just go get lunch. So we started driving to a lunch place, and while we were on our way to go to that different restaurant, I got a text from the restaurant that they were ready for us. And I was like, just like, I felt like no one knew what was going on Sunday. And that's like, you know, typical Sunday behavior. Like no one is like on a real journey of like really trying to get anywhere. We're coming to Pink Cosmetics. So we're coming to it. So we're gonna do some blush draping. So I need to kind of go from my deepest blush and also kind of stick with cool tones or warm tones and like figure out what I'm doing. I was thinking about Classique, which is this bottom one, but it's like warm. It's almost coral. Like you can kind of see, it's like hot pink, but like it's not like the trendy pink that we see going on now. Whereas like I feel that this is Gui Mauve from Surat. Classique, Gui Mauve, and then in the center is Barba Papa, which we're not going to touch today, even though I love Barba Papa. Barba Papa. Here's the Kaleidos Dreamwalk. So I feel like Dreamwalk and Gui Mauve would really go well together, and Classique would just be like, it would just be too much. I do need to find like a deeper pink. Now hold on, let's try something here. Let's just see. Let's take some Classique and let's take some Dreamwalk. Okay, so here's Classique, and I'm just gonna like buff it out on my hand. It is nice and deep enough. And then I'm going to put Dreamwalk down here. Yeah, like, do you see how it's like there's a clear delineation? When I like to blush drape, I either like to use a deep shade and apply different techniques and pressure to buff it out on the sides of my face. And then like obviously like lighter down here, but like heavier around the eyes. I could just choose Classique, but then I have to like kind of stick with like hot pink, where I feel like if I do something with like the Kaleidos, it would be like, I hope I'm making sense. I'm not really sure that I'm communicating this properly. Maybe Tokyo from Sugar Pill could be the answer. Maybe it could go with Dreamwalk and be like the deeper cousin to it. Or maybe it could go with Classique, but so that's Tokyo. And then there's Dreamwalk. No, see, Tokyo looks more like Classique. Yeah, again, we're kind of running into the same problem where it's like Tokyo. Okay, I haven't used Tokyo in quite some time as my blush. So maybe we will go with Classique and then Tokyo. And I hope you can kind of see what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, maybe those don't even go together. This Classique really has confounded me. No, that's those two. So you see how like these two, so this is Classique and then Tokyo's on top. Do you see how like these kind of blend together because they are that like, they're like a little bit warmer of a pink? That's what we'll do. Okay, sounds good. Let me pull out Tokyo. I also have the liquid Classique. Oh, I already powdered. Never mind. I was like, well, maybe we could do that. But no, I think that's the liquid Classique. I'm thinking, yeah, I think we'll just go with the powders just to make my life easier. Want to talk about technique, since I just complained about like no one ever talking about technique in videos anymore? We'll talk about it. So not that this was meant to be a blush draping video, but it's what I'm going to be doing. How I like to attack it is right around my eyes. I like it to be the deepest. So I have a couple different blush brushes. You don't need multiple blush brushes. Like, I'm not saying that this is something you need to do, but I do find that it helps, and I have them, so I'm going to be using them. I don't think Sephora makes this brush anymore, but it was the Sephora number 60. It's the angled diffuser. This is not very dense. These bristles, that's very sparse. It is denser at the bottom, as they all, but if you can keep the pigment up here, it's not very dense. So I like to do this with my lighter shades, and I like to like gently tap in. So whenever I'm working farthest away from the point where I'm draping, this is the brush that I typically like to use with whatever shade I'm doing that with. These are both more dense. This, I think they still make this one. This is the number 99. They might not make this one. Sculpting brush from Sephora. I like it because it works with cream. It also works with powders. And then I have this one from Sonia G. This is the Lotus Cheek. Not saying that you need any of those tools in order to blush drape. Those are the tools that I'll be using. So since we decided that, we're not having a discussion, since I decided that Classique is where we're starting, I'm going to start with the Lotus brush, so like one of the more denser brushes. I am going to kick off the excess, but since we want it to be more concentrated in this area, it's like it's okay. Like we're going to start there and then buff it just out from there. And I like to, go in both directions, up around my eye. So I have been asked in the past why I shave my eyebrows, and it truly is just because I wanted to. I love doing a playful look like this. And it's doesn't always have to be like because blush draping. When I do these looks, whenever I do feel so inspired to, I'm also trying to keep it deep. I'm taking it back into my hairline. My fade is pretty fresh right now, so things kind of need to like be a little bit blended back there. But like you just want this section near your eye to be the deepest, and like it can kind of be messy, but just make sure it's kind of like I go into my blush and then I start here and then I keep applying out. And that way I'm always I'm just like kind of building up this pink area, the deep pink area, and just spreading it around. It's not like a super precise thing, right? It's like, that's like kind of it, right? You can go as dramatic as this, or you could pick one shade. Like if you could do this with Wee Mauve, it would just be like much softer, and that would probably go better with like the sweatshirt that I'm wearing today. But we kind of had this discussion. So then, because I'm adding a little more to it, this is Tokyo from Sugar Pill, and I'm just like getting the pigment at the end of the brush. I'm gonna tap off the excess, and then I'm gonna focus this a little bit on the outside of that center, the center being where I was applying Classique from Surat, and just kind of like building it from there. And like, you could take it all the way up to your temple. You can, all the way up here. Or not, I'll just sit here and like kind of fuss with that going back and forth. But really, I want this closer to the edges because it just is a little bit softer of a pink. And we do really want to get it close to the eye. I find that that's my favorite kind of way to do blush draping. Then me and my friend went to this, back to me. We did finally get to this lunch place, and it was like this place, it wasn't really in the middle of nowhere, but like I'd never been there. And if you would have asked me before we went there do you think I would have felt safe there? I probably would have said no. No. We had the loveliest time and like some very good food, and it was really nice to be proven wrong that like even in this place where it didn't feel like I would be safe, I very much felt comfortable there. And then I went to Ross Park Mall, and here's what I was trying to get at whenever I was at the mall. I think another good thing to do when you're blush draping is just take your powder brush, not any new powder. If you feel like the edges are not looking blended, you can just kind of like tap your powder around that area. I haven't spent my beauty budget for the channel in since February. That was surprising to me. So the only thing that I haven't decided whether or not it would be considered my channel's budget is the Sublimage Latin. And you might be a little bit confused, but the way I like to like look at it, I have like adopted a little bit of the mindset of Hannah Louise Poston, but I buy more makeup with my personal budget than Hannah does. Hannah uses her budget includes like way more things than mine does. Mine is like exclusively makeup. But is it makeup for the channel or is it makeup for me? So the one thing that I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to count it as my channel budget or not is the Sublimage Latin, which is something that I was genuinely interested in. But then I like also bought it to do the collab with Kackie that I did. But also, I just wanted to know it. And then I am going to make like a full-length review of that foundation. I think it does kind of count more as a channel thing than just being something that I wanted, even though I did want to try it. Like, be outside of the realm of like me doing that video with Kackie. I like did want to try that product. My budget doesn't really roll over. I've been kind of like playing it loose because I just wanted to see what would happen. And I am going to actually talk about my budget so far for the year and like where it's gone, including my personal makeup budget. I was doing the numbers, and not to spoil what is essentially going to be where we land in that particular video, is that like I've spent less this year on makeup, even though I have been, you know, attempting to do more reviews. And that has to do with, even though I want to review things, I still want to review things that I think I'm going to like, even when it's a new release. It's like, you know, I have to be interested in it. You know, I have to want it. So we walked around the mall, and the thing that I came closest to buy was the Chanel like cheek quad, because I finally saw it in person. And I was like, because I had seen people talking about it. Specifically, I feel like Teresa talked about it, but I haven't seen anyone like, you know, review it. Not that I was like running to be the first, but like, I just feel like I haven't seen a lot about it, but like I knew it existed, and I feel like, you know, that could have been fun. I don't really want to like just review Chanel because it's not that exciting. So went to Sephora, and I walked around Sephora with my friend, and I just was like, wow, none of this is inspiring me. But I do think I know what brand I'm going to do my, like, I've been secretly testing this brand for so many months. It's not like a popular or I think exciting choice. It's a choice that I think could be fruitful, and we could find some nuggets in. And that's what I was like genuinely hoping to get out of when I do this brand. Anyway, you can leave. I'm not going to respond and tell you what it is in the comments, but you're welcome to guess. Just doesn't mean I'm going to tell you. I tried a new Starbucks drink, and I don't normally get to have caffeine, but I could feel myself being really distracted. And while I'm not diagnosed with anything, I know that, you know, people who are neurospicy, sometimes caffeine, because it's a stimulant, helps you focus. And I was like, I need some coffee, because I was planning on coffee being part of my breakfast experience, but then that didn't happen. Anyway, I tried the mocha cream, chocolate cream cold brew. Now, I love the vanilla cream cold brew. Like I think it was a new item. I thought it was too sweet. And I like my coffee sweet. I don't really like bitter. Like, that's like not me. Like bitter, ooh, no, not me. For my highlight, I'm going to be using this shade, the Fawn. Now there is a little bit of a flip to this. I think it's mostly gonna show pink because of the blush we're putting it on top of. This is from Rachel Defee, by the way. I think they still make the shade. It was one of their moon drops back when they used to do that, but they don't do that anymore. I feel like, should I put a little pink blush on my nose? I say to an audience of my reflection. I think I do. I'm not gonna put any more product on it, but I'm gonna take one of my blush brushes and just like, I don't always do this because I feel like maybe it's a little too cutesy for me, but I think when you're doing a look like this, that it's like you can like play up these kind of things. I'm gonna do a little of the highlight on top. Wonderful, amazing, stunning. Nothing has been better. All that to be said, I got clocked. I was spotted as HMT, was spotted as hautemesstom. So when I leave the house, I make a concerted effort to like look good. And now my freaking out of making sure that I look good when I leave the house has been justified. I'm going to be using some more single shadows, but this is from the Radioactive palette from Melt, and then this is from like a neon palette that Violet Voss made forever ago. I think I'm gonna construct my eye look from those, maybe. Who knows? We'll see where I get. You could also truly, you know, if you're also gonna do an eye look, you can do it with the blushes that you were using, and that would be perfectly fine. But you know, I want to use some different stuff, and so it's not all the same. I have never felt more justified than this moment to bother to dress cute when I leave the house. My one friend, Kristen, she always is like, I don't understand how even when we go get ice cream, you feel compelled to dress up. And I was like, I don't know. I don't leave the house. I feel like any excuse for me to dress up now is like an excuse for me to dress up. Cause like I dress cute for YouTube. Well, I put a cute top on for YouTube. I don't normally fuck with the bottoms because you don't see that unless I stand up. And you know what? It happens sometimes, and I edit that part out because it just looks so stupid.
You were talking about pink face?
Now I truly know that I will never leave the house without looking cute. Of course I looked cute for Rachel. We had to try to impress each other, but you know, I wasn't planning on getting clocked at the mall. Like I opened up Instagram today and I had I got a new follower and I followed them back because I was just like I saw them at the mall and I like kind of clocked them as well. And so my DMs on Instagram are set to like I have to allow you to be able to message me, just protecting myself a little bit so that not everyone has 100% access to me. They followed me, I followed them back, but then they messaged me and they were like, I saw you at Sephora yesterday and I didn't know you lived in Pittsburgh, and it was really cool. And they said I looked really good, feeling justified, feeling galvanized. So if you're watching this, next time you see me, feel free to say hello. And I guess this is as good a time as ever to like maybe discuss this. Now, obviously, the likelihood of you running into me and you're not in the greater Pittsburgh area is pretty slim. Feel free to say hello to me. I mean, just kind of read the situation. And also, very likely, if you do approach me, I will be like, what's happening? Because it's a new experience for me too. But yeah, I'm like open to saying hello. And I will probably be awkward. And it's okay if you're awkward too, because I think it'll be a learning experience for both of us and like trying to figure out how the heck that's supposed to happen. I've been clocked. And it like also like kind of, it kind of opened up like a lot of feelings. Just like, that was interesting. Wasn't, didn't like never really considered that. But like obviously if someone's in Pittsburgh and they run into me, and like I think I've mentioned this on my channel before, is like Pittsburgh's not a huge city. Like it's like very, very possible that like if I happen to leave the house that we could like easily spot each other in the city, especially like more in the downtown area. As I said, open to saying hello. Don't take pictures of me without me knowing and then post it, because that I don't think is fun. So here we are setting boundaries, parasocial boundaries. Would love to say hello. If you choose not to say hello to me, then don't post a picture of me and tag me later, because that would make me very uncomfortable. I think that's like a reasonable request. I'm gonna put I'm sitting in front of all of my Cliona shades, and you think I would have more pink, but it makes sense that I don't. I'm going to be putting the shade Spotlight all over the lid. It's nice and contrasty to the other stuff going on. I think we're gonna add a little more pink on top of it because it does feel a little too blue. That was fun. It was like an interesting experience. I was like, oh my God, I'm clocked. It's not something I often opt for, but sometimes, I do choose comfort when I leave the house. I'm now gonna take the shade Glisten, again from Cliona, and I'm going to put that on top of this. And it's like a pink topper to bring some more pink back into. So it's not 100% multi-chrome, monochrome. In real life, it's more pink, but it's not reading. It's reading like the same level of blue on camera. But I promise you, in real life, it's more, putting the topper on made it more pink. I also think there might be a hint of a blue shift to this shade as well. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'm not a perfect person. This is another Cliona shade, which I don't know the name of, which is like kind of par for the course for my Cliona shades. I just like use them and I'm like, that one's pretty. I'm not Riley. I'm not seeking shifts. If you're coming here to learn about the eyeshadows I use, it's a fruitless activity. Hold on, I'm looking. Don't type. That was Kaleidoscope, and then I just put on the inner corner. There's like one more thing I want to do. I want to play with some glitter. Okay, this is gonna take some focus from me. I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna come back, and if it works, then I'll tell you what I did. If it doesn't, I'm gonna tell you what I tried to do. I guess this also has a little bit of a blue shift. So we're pulling accidentally, we're pulling it all together. So that didn't work as well as it has in the past, but I pulled it together. I just added a little bit of like a line of pink glitter and just kind of like what I call like a raised wing. So it just kind of goes over where like my eyebrows would start. So I don't know if you can see it, but that's what I was just doing. It just looks cute. Okay, let me spray my face and let's put on mascara, lip. I'm going to do a little bit of brown eyeliner and mascara, and I will be right back. For lip, I kind of look like a clown. Really cute one, though. Let me blot this, and then let me put lip gloss on top of it. I just used the Patrick Ta lipstick in She's Hard to Get, and then I topped it with the lip gloss from Pat McGrath called Future Femme. And as you can see, this is why I don't wear pink. I look terrible in it. Tell me otherwise in the comments. For someone who doesn't like pink, I sure do have a lot of pink cosmetics. So I was trying to actually think about this before I even started to like sit down and film today. Like what happened? Like what happened to me? Because when I started doing makeup, I loved to wear pink. Like it was like my favorite because pink is ironically my favorite color. Like it's like my favorite color. But I kind of like fell away from using it in makeup, and I think that like I feel like pink is like the one color that everyone will go to. Like it's like you might be afraid of brights, but pink seems to be that one color that everyone's like willing to like try. So I think maybe I just felt like it was like a little bit too common, but now I'm in love with neutrals, which is like the most boring thing. And I you know, I sometimes forget that I have the skills to like turn a look, you know, like just to really turn a look. And I like forget to do it. So I don't know really why I like ran so hard from the color pink. Like it's it's pretty and I like it. It's my favorite color still, even though I don't like wear it as much on my face, but I do have like a lot of pink clothes. Like I like pink. But it's like very funny to me that I've like just kind of dismissed it as a cosmetic color. I wasn't really as into complexion when I first started makeup, and I'm thinking that's why I was so much more free with playing with the color pink. And then as I moved into like being more into complexion than I am into eyeshadow, which is where I'm at now, I think what happened was I have so much pink in my skin on my face in particular that I was like, I felt like what was the point of covering all of the pink only to add it back on top. And so it always feels like like it used to feel, I don't really feel this way anymore, but like I think I felt for a long time that I was like undoing something by adding pink back into my cheeks and like on the rest of my face. And I think that's really where I like kind of like fell out of the game whenever it came to pink. But, and I was also going to say like the reason I don't really turn looks like this on video is because I find it incredibly hard to focus and talk whenever I'm like doing something more intricate. It just requires more focus, and like I could do a smoky eye and test makeup doing not this. Also, I don't think that like all makeup needs to perform like this. In fact, if I reviewed makeup in this manner, it's not really gonna like if it's not how most people who watch my channel are going to use it, it's like not as beneficial for you. And that's not to say like I can't do this sometimes. I'm doing it now, and I also have a video down the pipeline that I have planned that's going to be like a more like a look heavy concept for a video. So it's just like I'm gonna do it, like I'm gonna keep doing it, but like when it comes to reviewing makeup, this doesn't matter. Like in the grand scheme of things, if like I'm like in blush draping, in this intense blush draping, how good does Classique look? It's like, no, you guys want to know what it would look like. You would probably rather know what it looks like more naturally applied to the cheek, and how not like how pigmented can I get it right next to the corner of my eye and then apply a highlighter over it. So I think that's why I probably also don't do as many like looks like this, but I had a lot of fun doing this today. Hi, Rachel. Go subscribe to Rachel. I will link her channel down below. Hi, Nick, again. Please, if you happen to see me again, I would love to like say hello. And that goes for any of you. Say hello if you see me out in public, unless I'm buying groceries. That feels like a low. Don't do that. If you do want to wear, if you want this merch, it's available for you down below. It's a crew neck. It's embroidered. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I would say it's like moderately priced. I don't know. Anyway, if you want it, go buy it. If you don't. I have other merch too, not just the I don't wear pink merch. Just check it out if you want to. And make sure you like this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already and you would like to be subscribed, now's the time. And again, I'm on patreon.com if you'd like to support me there, but there's no pressure to. I'm so happy that you're here. I appreciate you all so much for watching, and I will see you in a video very, very soon. Remember to follow your hood and you'll find me. I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Friend.